A foot of snow on Cape Cod. Blizzard conditions on the Outer Banks. 6 to 12 inches across northeastern North Carolina. And the forecast just shifted in the last 12 hours. If you're in the Carolinas, your snow total might have just gone up. We're talking about the biggest winter storm in over a decade for multiple cities, and it arrives this weekend. Which cities are in the new bullseye? Stay with me for 30 seconds, and I'll show you exactly where the models just moved the heaviest snow. I need something from you immediately. Comment your city below. Don't scroll past this. Actually type it. I'm customizing tonight's live coverage based on where you tell me you're located. I go through every comment personally to make sure I cover as many towns as possible. The more specific you are, neighborhood, street, whatever, the better forecast I can give you. Do it now. Here's what you stayed for. The upper level low shifted west overnight. That means cities on the western edge of the forecast zone just moved into the heavy snow axis. Columbia, South Carolina, you were marginal yesterday. Today you're looking at 3 to 6 inches, with some models showing higher. Charlotte, 3 to 6 inches with blowing snow Sunday. The upstate of South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, 3 to 6 inches, possibly more. Asheville in the mountains, 4 to 8 inches. Northern North Carolina, this is where it gets serious. 6 to 12 inches plus from Elizabeth City through Jacksonville up into southeastern Virginia. The Outer Banks, a foot or more with winds that could gust 70 to 80 miles per hour. And Cape Cod, Massachusetts, a foot of snow, possibly more with legitimate blizzard conditions. But here's what changed. That westward shift I mentioned means the I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York is now almost completely out of the picture. Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C., New York City, you're looking at little to nothing. This storm is taking an offshore track. The scale of this is massive, even though it's missing the big coastal cities. Winter storm watches cover the entire state of South Carolina. All of the Carolinas from Beaufort, South Carolina to Boone to the Outer Banks. Extreme southern Maryland down to Atlanta. Winter storm warnings already posted for the Tri-Cities of Tennessee, Knoxville, western North Carolina, southwestern Virginia. We're talking about impacts for millions of people starting tomorrow night. Not next week. Not 3 days from now. Tomorrow night. Friday night. This is 36 hours away. Here's why this storm is going to be so different from typical southern snow events. The air mass. We're not dealing with marginal temperatures. We're not dealing with a mix of rain and snow. We're dealing with Arctic air. Pure Arctic air. The National Weather Service in Miami did something interesting. They traced back where the current air over the southeastern United States originated. The Arctic Circle. That's not an exaggeration. The air mass currently over the south came from the Arctic Circle. That's why temperatures Saturday morning when snow breaks out are going to be in the teens in Charlotte, teens in the Triad, mid-20s in Columbia, below freezing all the way to the coast. The Ohio Valley will see negative temperatures. Actual sub-zero cold. What does that mean for the snow? This is going to be dry, fluffy, rocky mountain powder. Not the heavy, wet snow the South usually gets that sticks to trees and brings down power lines. This is light snow that blows. The kind that creates drifts. The kind that reduces visibility to zero even with moderate accumulation. Think Colorado snow, not typical Carolina snow. And that changes everything about how this storm behaves. Now let me explain why the forecast shifted and what you need to understand about upper-level dynamics. We've been tracking a strong piece of energy diving south from the polar vortex. This is the engine of the storm. Friday afternoon, this energy starts stretched out from Iowa to Nova Scotia. It's elongated, almost horizontal, but by Saturday late morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, it consolidates. It becomes a closed low in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. That's where the core of the cold air sits. That's where the strongest forcing for snow develops. Here's the critical change from yesterday to today. That closed low position shifted west. Not a huge shift, maybe 50 to 75 miles. But in winter storm forecasting, 50 miles is the difference between 6 inches and a dusting. When that low shifted west, it brought the zone of maximum lift, the zone where air is rising fastest over more populated areas. Columbia, you're now in that zone. Parts of the Charlotte metro, you're in that zone. The upstate of South Carolina, You're in that zone. Yesterday, you were on the edge. Today, you're in the sweet spot. This is why I keep showing you the upper-level maps. The ground-level storm, the coastal low, that's important. But it's the upper-level low that determines where the heaviest snow falls, and that shifted west. The models agreed on this shift. The European model shifted it. The American model shifted it. When multiple models agree on a trend, you pay attention. Let me give you the timeline so you know exactly when this hits. Friday night, late Friday night, light snow begins across parts of the Carolinas. This is the start. Accumulations will be light Friday night, but it's the beginning of a multi-day event. Saturday morning, snow becomes more widespread. Still light to moderate in most areas, but Saturday afternoon, this is when it ramps up. The upper-level low consolidates. Heavy snow bands develop. Visibility drops. Travel becomes dangerous. Saturday afternoon through Saturday night is the peak for most of the Carolinas and Virginia. This is when the heaviest snow falls. This is when winds increase. This is when conditions deteriorate rapidly. Sunday morning, the storm is pulling away from the Carolinas but is reaching peak intensity off the coast. The Outer Banks see the worst conditions Sunday morning. Northeastern North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, heavy snow with strong winds Sunday morning. And New England, Cape Cod specifically, Sunday is your day. The storm bombs out just southeast of Cape Cod. Heavy snow, strong winds, potential thundersnow, all day Sunday for southeastern New England. Let me break down each area in detail because I know you want specifics for your location. Starting in the deep south, Atlanta, you're under a winter storm watch. 1 to 3 inches possible, mainly Saturday. For Atlanta, that's enough to create significant problems. Roads will be a mess. North Georgia mountains, 3 to 6 inches in the higher elevations. South Carolina low country. Savannah, 1 to 2 inches. Not a major event, but you'll see some snow. Charleston, 1 to 3 inches. Same story. Enough to be noteworthy, not enough to be crippling. Myrtle Beach, 2 to 4 inches. A bit more than Charleston because you're further north. Your timing is Saturday into Saturday night. Now we get to the Midlands, and this is where the forecast gets interesting. Columbia, 3 to 6 inches. Let me put this in perspective for Columbia. The last time you saw half a foot of snow was 2010. The last time you saw 3 inches was before 2014. For Columbia, this is a rare, potentially historic event. The European model has been consistently showing 6 to 8 inches for Columbia in some runs. I think that's probably a bit high, but 3 to 6 is very realistic. The higher end of that range, 5 to 6 inches, is absolutely possible. Some localized areas could push even higher if you get caught under the best snow bands. This is Saturday for you. Snow develops Saturday morning, becomes heavy Saturday afternoon, continues into Saturday evening. The upstate of South Carolina. Greenville, Spartanburg, Florence, Gaffney, this entire region. 3 to 6 inches. The European ensemble guidance shows a bullseye right over this area. You're in a favored zone for accumulating snow. Some spots, particularly in the higher elevations, could see 6 to 8 inches. Rock Hill, you're right on the North Carolina border, 3 to 6 inches as well. The upstate is trending up. Yesterday, this area was more uncertain. Today, it looks like you're going to get hit. Moving into North Carolina, Western Mountains, Asheville, Boone, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk, the higher elevations, 4 to 8 inches. Mountain locations above 3,000 feet could push toward the higher end or exceed it. This is serious mountain snow. Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning, mountain passes are going to be extremely dangerous. Blowing snow with the wind. Near zero visibility at times. If you don't have to travel in the mountains Saturday, don't. Charlotte, 3 to 6 inches. Your timing is Saturday. Snow develops Saturday morning, becomes moderate to heavy Saturday afternoon. Peak snowfall rates Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Then here's what happens Sunday morning. The snow is over, but the wind picks up. Winds gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. We're going to have blowing snow in Charlotte Sunday morning. That light, fluffy snow that fell Saturday is going to blow around Sunday. Ground blizzard conditions are possible even after the snow stops falling. Visibility drops again. Drifting snow covers roads that were already plowed. This is not typical for Charlotte. Pay attention to this. The triad. Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point. 2 to 4 inches. You're in a tougher spot forecast-wise. Some models show you higher, some show you lower. The exact position of the heaviest snow band Saturday afternoon determines whether you end up with 2 inches or 6 inches. Right now, I'm going with 2 to 4 as a conservative forecast, but this could trend either direction. We'll know better tomorrow. Raleigh. This is the toughest forecast in the state. You are right on the knife edge between significant snow and a marginal event. Some models show you a foot. Some models show you 3 inches. The range for Raleigh is 3 to 6 inches, but I have very low confidence in that number. This could easily verify at 2 inches. This could easily verify at 10 inches. The track of the coastal low, the exact position of the upper level low, the placement of the deformation zone. All of these factors determine your snowfall, and they're all still uncertain. If I had to pick one city where the forecast could bust high or low, it's Raleigh. Plan for 3 to 6. Be prepared for more. Be prepared for less. Durham, Chapel Hill. Same situation as Raleigh. You're close enough that you see the same conditions. The uncertainty is high. Now we get to northern and northeastern North Carolina, and this is where my confidence increases dramatically. Elizabeth City, 6 to 12 inches. Kill Devil Hills, a foot or more. Kitty Hawk, a foot or more. The Outer Banks in general, significant snow, but more importantly, the wind. Sunday morning, winds gusting 70 to 80 miles per hour on the Outer Banks. 70 to 80, that's hurricane force. Category 1 hurricane winds. While it's snowing heavily, this is a textbook blizzard. Near zero visibility from heavy snow and blowing snow. Drifts measuring in feet, not inches. Coastal flooding, beach erosion, power outages likely. This is a dangerous, potentially life-threatening situation for the Outer Banks Sunday morning. The Albemarle Sound region, Edenton, Hertford, Columbia, 6 to 12 inches with strong winds. Jacksonville, 6 to 12 inches. This entire region from Jacksonville north through Elizabeth City and up into southeastern Virginia is in the favored zone for heavy snow. The upper-level dynamics support it. The moisture is there. The cold air is definitely there. Everything is coming together for a major snow event. Southeastern Virginia. Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk. 6 to 12 inches possible. Winds 40 to 50 miles per hour. Blowing snow. Dangerous travel. This is Saturday night into Sunday morning for you. Coastal flooding is a concern for the Virginia coast, just like the Outer Banks. Richmond, 3 to 6 inches. You're similar to Raleigh. You're on the edge of where the heaviest snow sets up. This could go either way. The coastal low track determines your fate. Southwestern Virginia. You're already under winter storm warnings. 3 to 6 inches for much of the region. Higher amounts in the higher elevations. Your timing is Saturday. Now let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic, and I need to be very direct with you. Philadelphia, this is not your storm. Maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches in the northern suburbs. But this is not a significant event for Philadelphia. DC, same story. Maybe a coating, maybe an inch. You're too far west. The storm is too far offshore. Baltimore, similar situation. 1 to 3 inches at most. Probably on the lower end. New York City, you're looking at a coating to maybe 2 inches. Long Island, eastern Long Island might see 3 to 4 inches, but that's it. This is not a major snow event for the I-95 corridor. The track is too far east. But then we get to southeastern New England and the forecast changes completely. Cape Cod, 12 inches, possibly 15 inches, possibly more. This is a major snow event for Cape Cod. Nantucket, same story. Martha's Vineyard, significant snow. Southeastern Massachusetts, Providence area could see 4 to 6 inches. But Cape Cod is the bullseye. And it's not just the snow. Winds, 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts, possibly higher. Thundersnow is likely. When you combine a foot plus of snow with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, you get a blizzard. Visibility drops to 0. Drifting snow makes any accumulation number meaningless. Coastal flooding, beach erosion. This is Sunday for you. All day Sunday. Blizzard warnings are almost certain for Cape Cod. Boston, you're in a tough spot similar to Raleigh. Some models show you significant snow. Some models show you very little. The exact track determines whether you get buried or missed. Right now, I'd say 3 to 7 inches for Boston with the higher end in the southern and eastern suburbs. But this has huge bust potential in either direction, down East Maine. The coast of Maine is looking at 4 to 8 inches with strong winds. The further inland you go, the less you see. But coastal Maine is going to get hit Sunday into Monday. Now, here's what I need to address head-on. The models are not in perfect agreement. The European model is more aggressive with snow for New England. The GFS model is less aggressive. We're dealing with a battle of the models less than 72 hours before the event. That's not ideal. But based on the ensemble guidance, based on the overall pattern, based on what typically happens with these setups, I'm leaning toward the European solution, which means significant snow for Cape Cod and southeastern Massachusetts. But I'm acknowledging the uncertainty. What's not uncertain is the coastal impact. Whether Cape Cod sees 8 inches or 16 inches, the coastal flooding is going to happen. Winds offshore are going to be 70 to 80 miles per hour. That pushes water inland. High tide combined with a full moon combined with strong onshore winds equals coastal flooding. This is guaranteed for the New England coast. Beach erosion is guaranteed. High surf is guaranteed. Let me talk about wind across the entire region because this is critical and people aren't focusing on it enough. This is light, fluffy snow. A 30-mile-per-hour wind gust picks it up and moves it. Charlotte, Columbia. 30 to 40-mile-per-hour gusts Sunday. You're going to have periods of reduced visibility from blowing snow even after precipitation ends. The North Carolina high country. 50 to 60-mile-per-hour gusts. Trees could come down. Power outages are possible from wind alone, even though the snow itself won't weigh down trees and power lines like wet snow does. The Outer Banks, 70 to 80-mile-per-hour gusts. This is the wind speed of a hurricane. Southeastern Virginia, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Cape Cod, 50 to 60 miles per hour or higher. These are dangerous winds. These are winds that knock out power. These are winds that blow down signs, damage roofs, create whiteout conditions when combined with snow. Here's the European ensemble probability map for 4 inches or more. Notice the two maximums. The first one covers Columbia, the upstate of South Carolina, parts of the Charlotte metro. Good probability of 4 inches or more. The second maximum covers northeastern North Carolina, the Outer Banks, southeastern Virginia. Very high probability of 4 inches or more, with many locations likely to exceed that significantly. Then you see the third maximum over Cape Cod. Very high probability of significant snow. Notice what you don't see. High probabilities for D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. The I-95 corridor has very low probability of appreciable snow, 10% or less for most locations. This is an offshore runner. It misses the big cities. But it hammers the Carolinas and it hammers Cape Cod. Your preparation timeline. Today, Thursday. If you're watching this Thursday evening, you have tomorrow to prepare. Friday is your day. Groceries, gas, batteries, flashlights, generator checks, all of it happens Friday. By Friday night, light snow begins. By Saturday morning, conditions are deteriorating. By Saturday afternoon, travel is dangerous. Saturday is too late to prepare. Everything must be done Friday. If you're in the snow zone, let me be very specific about what you need. Full tank of gas in your vehicle. If you get stranded, you need to run your heat. Groceries for 3 days minimum. Assume you're not leaving your house Saturday or Sunday. Batteries, flashlights, candles. Assume power could go out. Phone chargers, battery banks. You need to keep your phone charged. Generator fuel if you have a generator. Test it now, not Saturday morning when it's snowing. Medications, baby supplies, pet food, anything essential that you might need. For areas not used to hard freezes, and I'm talking about coastal South Carolina, coastal North Carolina, let your faucets drip Saturday night. Pipes that aren't insulated can freeze and burst when you have teens and 20s overnight. This is Arctic air. This is not typical southern cold. Check on your neighbors. Elderly neighbors especially. Anyone who might not have adequate heat. Anyone who might not be aware of how serious this is. Community care matters during events like this. Now let me address what might be coming after this storm because the pattern is not breaking. There are signals in the extended models for another potential storm next week. It's way too early for specifics. I'm not going to give you snow totals for a storm that's 7 days away. But I am telling you to be aware that this might not be a one-and-done situation. The pattern supports additional storm development. The cold air is locked in place. The jet stream configuration is favorable for East Coast storms. Monitor the forecast next week. Let me recap because there's a lot here. Major winter storm this weekend. Arrives Friday night, peaks Saturday for the Carolinas, Sunday for New England. Biggest snow in over a decade for parts of the Carolinas. Columbia hasn't seen this much snow since 2010. Blizzard conditions likely for the Outer Banks with 70 to 80 mile-per-hour winds. 6 to 12 inches plus for northeastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. 3 to 6 inches for Charlotte, Columbia, the upstate of South Carolina. 4 to 8 inches for the North Carolina mountains. A foot or more for Cape Cod with blizzard conditions. Little to nothing for D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. Light, fluffy, blowing snow creating ground blizzards even after precipitation ends. Extreme cold, Arctic air mass, and potentially another storm next week. I'm going live tonight at 8:30 Eastern. I'll be answering every question you have. Last night we had almost 4,000 people in the chat. The engagement has been incredible. Drop your questions in the comments now. Drop your location. Tell me what you want to know. I'll address as many as I can tonight. The models are going to update again tonight. We'll get fresh data. The forecast could shift again. That's why you need to stay tuned for updates. Tomorrow I'll do another full video with the latest guidance. Then I'm live again tomorrow night. This is a rapidly evolving situation even though we're only 36 hours away. Let me be transparent about the uncertainty because I think that's important. Raleigh, Richmond, parts of the Triad, Boston, these cities are on the edge. The forecast could bust in either direction. A 20-mile shift in the track changes everything. That's not me hedging. That's me being honest about the limitations of forecasting winter storms with complex upper-level dynamics. Where I have high confidence. The Carolinas get significant snow. The Outer Banks get a blizzard. Cape Cod gets significant snow. The cold air is extreme and locked in. Those are certainties. What I'm still watching. Exact snowfall totals for edge cities. The placement of the heaviest snow bands Saturday afternoon. Whether Boston trends into the heavier snow or stays on the edge. Whether Columbia gets 4 inches or 8 inches. Those details are being refined. One thing I want to emphasize that people might not be thinking about. This is Saturday and Sunday. Weekend. Businesses closed. People home. In some ways that's good because it keeps people off the roads. But it also means if you lose power, if you have an emergency, response times could be slower. Emergency crews are dealing with the same storm you are. Plan accordingly. Have everything you need at home. Don't assume you can just run to the store Saturday afternoon or call for help and get immediate response. For those in the Carolinas not used to snow, some practical advice. Don't use your cruise control. Even if roads look clear, they could be slippery. Increase your following distance to at least 6 seconds. Leave early. Drive slow. If you absolutely must travel Saturday, leave way more time than you think you need. Better yet, don't travel Saturday. Cancel your plans. Stay home. For those in areas expecting blizzard conditions, the Outer Banks, Cape Cod, do not go outside during the peak of the storm. Whiteout conditions mean you can get disoriented within feet of your house. People have died in blizzards because they went outside to check on something and couldn't find their way back. Stay inside. Wait it out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it now. We're incredibly close to 100,000 subscribers. Just a couple thousand away. If everyone watching this video who isn't subscribed would subscribe, we'd hit it. All the content is free. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss updates. I know this is a lot of information. I know it's complex. I know the uncertainty is frustrating for some cities. But I'm giving you everything I have. I'm being as transparent as possible about what we know and what we don't know. What we know. Major storm, significant snow for large areas, dangerous conditions, extreme cold. What we're still figuring out. Exact totals for edge cities. Exact timing of heaviest snow bands. Whether certain areas trend up or down from current forecasts. Stay with me through this event. Updates tomorrow. Live tonight. Live tomorrow night. I'm going to get you through this storm with the best information available. Thank you for trusting me with your forecast. Thank you for being here. Now go prepare. Get everything done tomorrow. And I'll see you tonight at 8:30. Stay safe.